It is Wednesday, October 8th, 2025. This is another playoff edition of Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, intern Sawyer along for the ride as well. Woo-wee. Fun games. So much so we don't even have time to have happy greetings and talk about what each of us are wearing and all that sort. We're just going to get the ball. You okay with that, Trevor Plouffe?
Tip of the cap to baseball.
Yes. Perfect. And the Yankees season, it continues. Oh, it did not look good early. They were down 6-1, I believe, in the third inning in their crib, and everybody was going, my gosh, it's going to be another season without a world championship. It's going to be 16 years and counting. Well, they still face an uphill battle, but look who led them back.
Two-strike pitch. Hits a drive down the line. If it's fair, it's his moment. It is. It's tied. Judge has arrived.
We've been facing elimination all season long, even especially at the end of September where, we're fighting for a division. You got to win every game. It felt like an elimination game every single night, and then especially going into the wild card, lose the first one where now you got your backs against the wall. It's just there's no panic in this team.
Yankees end up winning this one 9-6. They force a game 4 at the Boogie Down coming your way on Wednesday. Let's get back to what Joe Davis said. Aaron Judge has his moment. Was that his moment?
Well, it can be his moment, I think. He's had a phenomenal postseason. The power just necessarily hasn't been there. A couple doubles here and there, but he's been all over the baseball. But this right here, with a chance to tie the game, Toronto bringing in arguably their best reliever right now, and gets down 0-2, pulls his hands in like that. Like I as a baseball player and a former hitter, like pulling your hands in the way he did is just not easy to do. And he's got a swing that allows him to do it. We can talk about the high-level pattern stuff he does with Teacher Man, whatever it is. That swing right there. And the fact that everyone thought it was foul off the bat, everybody thought that was foul off the bat. And it hitting the foul pole is it was an iconic moment. Now, I think for it to truly be his moment, Chris, they need to win the World Series. Then that's the moment. And he's probably going to have more moments than that. I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm still in awe of what took place because, as you mentioned, 6-1. And it looked like another ass whooping was happening. And then they got a couple runs and then that big moment. And now, the momentum has completely shifted to the Yankees side.
Yeah, there's still a lot more to break down about this game. The Yankees do not advance to game 4 without Aaron Judge, who now, by the way, has 11 hits this postseason. That is his best ever for any singular postseason. And it's only been, 6 games so far. So he's going to get at least a 7th and maybe some more after that. Yeah, that swing was just incredible. For him to turn around on 99 and keep that fair, the only other guy I can remember being able to keep inside pitches like that fair on a consistent basis was
Miggy Cabrera.
Okay, well, I don't think about Miggy that way because he used to hit the ball to right center so well, so that's not the first thing. You might be right. But for me, it's Anthony Rizzo, his former teammate.
He choked up so much he pulled his hands in easily, yeah.
Yeah, but he was able to keep balls fair. I don't ever understand. Usually those are like 10 rows foul. And for him to have kept that fair and just the drama, everything that came along with it, it was special.
Show that again, Dan, the umpire view if you can, because we saw this twice. Oh my gosh. He did it against Bieber for a double, I believe, earlier in the game. And they showed that view, and I was like, oh, how'd you do that, dude? That's so impressive. And then to do it on 100-mile-an-hour fastball is a completely different type of swing. And that's why he is who he is. And I am so happy. And I want to say this real quick, because I know we got a lot to get to. I swear this is true. I had a dream 2 nights ago. I didn't tell anybody this because I didn't think it was significant at all. I had a dream 2 nights ago, and it was Judge, and him and I were at some baseball facility, and he was pissed at me. He wouldn't even talk to me. And he's like, you never root for me. You're always rooting for the other team. I'm like, Aaron, I respect you so much, dude. What are you talking about? And he was like, man, no, just get away. You don't respect me. You never root for me. And the whole time I was trying to be like, no, Judge, like I really think I love you, man. You're such a great ball player. Dream ended, whatever. And now I don't know, man. It's like simulation stuff right here.
Wait a second. How do you sit on that one?
I don't know.
I
don't know.
I mean, come on.
It's the truth, man. It was crazy. It was a very vivid, lucid dream.
Can I tell you about a dream I had the other night? It involved grapes and no, I'm not going to get into
where are you going with that?
Yeah,
you and Jake were on an island? What?
So, my next John Boy Media vacation, big deal. Jazz eventually hit a homer, which was great. They tacked on 2 more. They took it to the Blue Jays bullpen the day before the Jays bullpen is going to take center stage because they don't have a true starter that's going to start game 4. But the Yankees bullpen, much maligned throughout the playoffs, came through 6 2/3 because Carlos Rodon could not get out of the third. No runs, 9 strikeouts, 0 walks. All those dudes came out and were on fire.
I mean, the momentum was just gone from the Blue Jays. And I do want to talk about Jazz real quick because he might have been the face of the Yankees collapse if that game would have went the other way. The yawn, which I think was a yawn, it might have been him stretching his jaw. I don't know. I think it was a yawn. And the fact that he didn't turn around to see where the runner was and just let him score behind him after Belly booted that ball. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. I almost tweeted about it, but I held it in, and I'm glad I did because he comes back with a huge at bat. He had a walk, then he hits the homer, and all is forgiven. If he was yawning, who cares? Doesn't matter anymore. Well, if they don't win that game, how many people have that freaking still shot of Jazz yawning on the field saying, "Look at this BS Yankee baseball," right?
Oh, yeah, there's probably some Blue Jay fans who would turn that into their screensaver. Or when, like, a buddy of theirs calls from New York, that's what the picture of Jazz yawning is what pops up. Yeah, that could have been it. But they did. They got their shit straight, and that building does have some weird stuff that happens. I know it's only been around since 2009, but they just walked across the street. Whatever baseball ghosts do hang out there in the Bronx, some of them showed up, and that was some cool stuff, obviously. There were some weird plays that opened the floodgates for both teams. You talked about the Bellinger drop, which I don't know if it was a drop. He was sliding. He kind of backhanded it. I don't know if he misjudged it. It hit off kind of the heel of his glove. But the Barger one, there was 1 out and nobody on. If he squeezes that, you're talking about 2 outs, nobody on. Instead, they end up getting a runner at second. It's like this is a huge, huge play, in my opinion.
I mean, neither of them were even close to the ball when they started calling for it, which was really, really strange there. Schneider, was basically gave way to Barger there. But again, they weren't even close to the ball. And I think there was some weird wind going on there because Belly had another ball besides the one he dropped that kind of took a different route on him. And so I don't know what was going on. Obviously, I'm not there, but it seemed like the ball was kind of playing tricks on those guys. But yeah, I mean, that ball was in his glove, and he almost snow coned it, but it popped out and it allowed Judge to have that moment.
And IKF boots one
in
the first inning that ended up allowing the Yankees to continue a rally and score a run. That sort of stuff. I mean, this is the top defensive team in all of baseball, and it's that sort of stuff that can allow the Yankees still have to walk through the door. They still have to put the ball in play, and they did, to their credit. Let's look ahead to game 4 here. You said that you feel like things have really flipped. It's going to be Cam Schlittler, who has given us one of the individual performances of the postseason against the Red Sox in a do-or-die game. He does, and then some. 8 innings, 12 Ks, looked the part, and now the Blue Jays are going out there in a bullpen game. I mean, how confident are you this is going back north of the border?
We will see, Chris. I mean, it's very hard to give predictions at this time of the year. Like I said, I do feel like the momentum is on the Yankees side just because Schlittler has looked really good. And, I don't really see the Jays as a bullpen team. I know they've done pretty well, but to go 9 innings and trying to have 4 or 5 guys have a good night, it becomes difficult. So I just think now the pressure that was on the Yankees to come show up today, that's gone. Like they feel good. They feel confident now. And a confident team is a scary team.
Well, this was going to be a bullpen game the entire way for the Blue Jays. Really, whether they were down 2-1 or up 2-1.
Yeah, they're trying to close it out tonight, though. I mean, that's like, what do you mean?
But they didn't throw. Nobody threw more than 20 pitches outside of Shane Bieber. So everybody's going to be good to go. They'll have Jeff Hoffman. If they need a 5-out save, they'll be able to use him. Eric Lauer, who obviously was a starter for around half the year or so.
He's on the roster. Didn't he get shelled in game 1?
I think it was game 2 when he came in the bullpen. And
27 outs, man. It's a lot of outs to get.
Hey, listen, dude, I don't think it's great thinking. I think it was questionable roster construction, in my opinion. But they wanted to go with 4 lefties on this roster. So they left off Bassett, who was not healthy at the end of the year. And they left off Scherzer, who, even though he's a future Hall of Famer and has had some incredible postseason moments, also didn't pitch well down the stretch. So this was going to be a question mark regardless. Whomever they were going to throw in game 4, let's say they had one of those veterans on the roster, and it was going to be Schlittler against Max Scherzer. You would still pick Schlittler as the guy to be the better dude.
Yes.
Right. So the Blue Jays, either way, to me, are the underdog going into this. I will say this, though. Schlittler faced the Blue Jays twice this year. Most recently, a month ago. And he had his shortest stint as a starter. 1 2/3, wasn't good. Gave up 4 runs, only struck out 2. I suppose the other way Toronto could do this is they could go 3 days rest with Kevin Gausman.
I think, didn't Ken Rosenthal mention that on the broadcast?
He did.
Let's go Gausman, and then you have Savage back in Toronto for. Or no, that's not what he said. Is that what he said?
It is. That's exactly what he said.
That's what he said. And John Smoltz kind of shut that down. I thought that's not a bad idea. I'm sure they're thinking about all options. I mean, they don't have to tell anybody what their plan is. We don't exactly know who's going tomorrow. Schneider's gonna have to think, man. They're all talking right now about it. As we are doing this show, they're talking. Oh, that's a little behind the curtains. It's Tuesday night, people. They're talking about it right now. I'm curious to see what they do and how they want the lanes to match up. If they do end up going Gausman, we'll see.
I would not do it, only because as a Cleveland sports fan, the then Indians were up 2-1, best of 5 divisional series in Boston. They brought back Bartolo Colon, who had started game 1 on 3 days rest to try and close it out in game 4. They could have had him on full rest for game 5 back in Cleveland. They lost 23-7 in game 4. He didn't even make it out of the second. We know starters in 3 days, 3 days rest do not do well most of the time in the postseason. So but here's what I would keep in play. Would you use Yasevich out of the bullpen?
Like a bullpen day for him?
Yeah.
See, that to me screams desperation. I know that's what Schmaltz said about that plan. It seems desperate, panicky, if you will. All options are on the table, man. All options are on the table.
What would you do?
Did he throw? Has he thrown yet? Did he throw one today?
I can't imagine he did. I can't.
When did he pitch last?
He pitched Sunday.
So it was
Tuesday.
Maybe a light touch and feel day today. So he probably didn't throw much, if anything. Probably scheduled for, at this point in the year, I mean, maybe a 20-pitch, 30-pitch bullpen max. So you're saying you could use those in the game, but that's a completely different thing. I say no.
How much fun would it be, just as a baseball fan, 7th inning, Jays are up 4-2, and here he comes.
He's put his spikes on. He's going to the
bullpen.
I would like it.
That would be freaking awesome.
I think the prospects of having Gausman and Tim available for Game 5 I would like that more as a manager.
Last thing about this game before we move on to the next series. Who sees fewer good pitches in Game 4, Vlad or Judge?
They both got intentionally walked tonight. I'd say Judge.
Me too.
I'd say Judge, yeah.
But stop throwing the ball to Vlad too.
Vlad, we didn't even really talk about Vladdy and that dive, and like he was playing like an absolute dog out there. Like I'm rooting so hard for him. Like he is truly leaving it all out there. I sent the picture out of the dive on X,
great.
And you can't even see home plate when he's diving.
I know. I mean, he looks like a totally different ball player.
Hey, but to be honest, he's out if he doesn't slide like he did.
Mm-hmm.
Because if he started that early and just kind of like went down into the ground and stopped his momentum, I think he's out. But because he stayed in the air for so long, like he literally flew into home plate.
Yeah, I didn't think there was any shot that he was going to score. But man, his speed kicked up in between third and home.
Great break, great turn at third base, never slowed down.
Yeah,
it was fun. Great game, man. I'm excited the Yankees made it to the series. Jays got kicked. Look, they got punched. Let's see what they do.
All right, today's episode, Baseball Today, is sponsored by Best Western Hotels and Resorts. Life's a trip. Why not make the most of it? With over 4,000 hotels worldwide, Best Western's there for every detour and destination, unexpected twist and turn along the way. So whether you're hitting the road, traveling for work, or chasing the next big game, there's a room always waiting for you. But a great stay isn't just about rest. It's about what comes next. Great stay doesn't just help you recharge. It sets the tone for the early wake up, the late night arrival, or the last minute change of plans. Best Western always gets it. Traveling isn't one size fits all. It's for the planners and the procrastinators, the loyalty point collectors, and the, hey, I just booked it crowd. So whether you're flying solo, with your friends, or the entire roster, Best Western's got you covered. Pack your bag, cue up the playlist, hit the road. Life's a trip. Make the most of it at bestwestern.com. Our next stop on our baseball road trip is Motown, where the Detroit Tigers were home for the first time in 16 days. It wasn't exactly home sweet home, if you know what I mean.
Down the right field line, Naylor makes the catch, doubles it off, and that's the ball game. Josh Naylor on a frozen rope, snared it, stepped on the bag, and finishes off Game 3, and the Mariners are one step away from the LCS.
Love the momentum we have right now, but we got to find a way to take it. Hopefully win it in 4. It'd be awesome to win in Seattle, but I don't want to take any chances, so I hope we come out tomorrow and win it.
That was starting pitcher Logan Gilbert, who was a stud. 6 innings, gave up just 1 run, struck out 7, did not walk anybody. And the splitter has been the pitch of this postseason, and his was dancing all over.
It was moving all over the place, had the vertical drop, had the horizontal movement. Yeah, when he's on, he's fun to watch.
What is it that makes a great splitter as a hitter?
I think it's how it comes out of the hand. I faced Gossman a lot in my career, and I saw his splitter well. I don't know if he's changed it since then. It's been a while. But you could see it kind of knuckle out of his hand, like the spin wasn't there. So I don't know if that's the arm action wasn't great on it or what. That to me, if you have good arm action on it and you don't, and it doesn't stop spinning as much, like there needs to be some rotation on it, or else you can pick it up early.
The Mariners got some great play from some of their stars, including their MVP candidate and Cal Raleigh, who went deep for the 61st time. You know, being a switch hitter, he does a lot of his damage to the pull side. Here, he hit it to left center. And how about the dude that ended up catching it, right? Dump it 61 here. That was freaking awesome. Absolutely incredible theater, right?
Yes. Number one, that's a massive homer to go pull or to go oppo to that part of the ballpark. That bullpen's very far away. But yeah, what a cool night for that guy. Did he catch it on the fly or was that on the bounce?
Yeah, I don't know if he caught it on the fly or not, but he ended up meeting Cal Raleigh afterward, getting an autographed bat. I mean, that's what Cal does. He's just everybody wants to be a part of his ride right now. It was pretty good though. Tigers, I don't know if it's because they are tired or winded or whatever it is. They were sloppy. All defensively, they were a mess. The guy who I thought would benefit most with their homecoming, Zach McKinstry, I thought butchered a play where he should have cut off a ball when the Mariners scored the first run, and it ends up getting past Dingler, and Flaherty is backing up on the other side, and Robles ends up scoring barely on the play, but McKinstry just should have cut it off. Instead, he just kind of watched the whole thing happen. It certainly didn't look like the team that we've seen energized over a couple of October runs.
On that specific play, I think the blame from bottom to top goes Flaherty, McKinstry, and then Dingler. How is Dingler not just stop that ball?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, dude. Like sometimes balls get by you, and I know McKinstry should have just cut it off, but he lets it go. I don't know how that ball didn't get stopped. And Jack is just like, there's two guys. I'm not going to touch this ball. He made a great play on it, actually.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the perfect spot for it, but at the same time, he was not expecting anything like that to happen.
No. It was. Do you know that the Tigers' last home win was on September 6th? By the way, now we're getting.
Well, they hadn't played there in a long time, but yes, they were in a horrible streak before that.
Yeah. Well, they've lost 8 straight games, and this is. I mean, you almost need like the circus music happening under this play. And Robles
run that back again, Dan. Run that back again. I got to see where McKinstry was and like what the heck he was thinking right there. He gets over there, sees him stop. He was running the other way and it was to his left, and maybe he's just like, somebody's gonna get it. I don't know. That summarized their night right there.
Yeah, it was kind of a tone setter for them. I mean, we preach about every 90 feet counting, and for God's sakes, when it costs you a run, and then Kerry Carpenter butchered a play out in right field as well, just not good. I suppose if there was any good that came out of this game for Detroit was that they somehow, in an 8-1 game heading into the bottom of the ninth, forced the Mariners to use Munoz for a third straight game because Caleb Ferguson just brought his blowtorch out to the mound. Part of the reason it's big is Munoz gets used again. They get another look at him, but they've only got 2 lefties on the roster. It's Spire and it's Ferguson, and there's no way that they can use Ferguson in any sort of high leverage. So you really only get to fire one bullet at Carpenter and Green. They're 2 most potent, powerful bats in that lineup. The Mariners could be screwed if it's late in the game, and that's what their choice is.
When they were talking about getting Munoz up, I was like, that's a silly thing. Don't even start warming him up. I mean, they had at that point a 7-run lead. Like, he should be spikes off, turfs on. Don't even think about it. And then Torque gets that knock, and it's like, oh my gosh, they're gonna have to do it. And that's you're right, man. For the Tigers to be able to bring him in, that does mean a lot. It's just another advantage of another time of him being exposed, as you said. Yeah.
I am curious about the pitching matchup. We've got Casey Mize going for the Detroit Tigers, and we've got Bryce Miller going for Seattle. So that's who Dan Wilson has decided to go with. With Casey Mize, he started game 2 of their wild card round. It was a loss against Cleveland. He went 3+ and was done after 62 pitches. I think based on how much the Tigers have dipped into that bullpen, as long as the game's not out of hand, they're going to have to get more than 3 innings out of him.
Oh, you sure hope so, yes.
And what about Bryce Miller? Like, what are the Mariners going to be happy with out of him?
I think in any of these postseason starts without your dog on the hill, I think you're happy for 5. And that's like max of what you can probably expect, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I think they'd be happy if they got 4 and he only gave up 3 earned. I think that's kind of where they are with him.
That's not a great outing.
No, it's not. But I mean, listen, they went into
keeps in the ball game, I guess.
They went into this postseason without their best pitcher in Brian Wu. And, we've barely mentioned that since he was left off the roster. And really, game 4 would have been Logan Gilbert's game, I guess, right? Because this was 3. Castillo went 2. Kirby went 1. Well, or it would have been Kirby. I mean, they might have pushed Kirby back. Whatever it was, Brian Wu not being there has made it so that Bryce Miller has got to get a start now in a game where they're hoping to be able to pop some champagne and be in the ALCS for the first time in nearly 25 years. All right, so that'll do it for that. Let's talk a little bit about T-Mobile. Based on hundreds of millions of real-world tests, the experts at Ookla Speed Test, they have spoken T-Mobile is now the best mobile network in all of America, so you can keep up with all the MLB postseason action from the ballpark to the backcountry. Because T-Mobile got the most advanced 5G, the most towers, and a signal that goes farther than ever. So whether you're streaming the game out and about, checking stats on the road, or experiencing ballpark perks with Magenta Status, you're ready to stay connected wherever your fandom takes you. Head on over to T-Mobile.com/network to switch on over to the very best network. All right, in the meantime, let's head to the National League, and the champs are going to try and advance and eliminate the Phillies in 3 games. It'll be Nola against Yamamoto in this one. Now, it was really interesting because Bryce Harper met with the media on the off day, and somebody asked him about whether or not it was advantageous that the Phillies are trying to climb out of this hole, doing it away from home. And he said, "What are you, nuts? Like, I love playing in Philadelphia." And I would have been booing them right along with it. Like, if they expect a ton, I expect a ton out of myself, and that's the way it should roll. Do you think that it actually might be advantageous to the Phillies?
I have no idea what that question means. I don't want to call it a clown. I don't want to call it a clown question, citing Bryce Harper, but I just don't understand what it means.
What it means is that that Philly fan, let's say they were down 2-0, hadn't played well, and they were coming home against the Dodgers. If the Dodgers score 2 in the first, that place is going nuts. And you can feel, can't you as a ball player feel the negative energy from a home crowd sometimes?
I mean, sure, yeah, I've definitely felt that before, but I just don't think going into another raucous environment that's not your own is any better at all. I just don't understand that. No.
Well, I would say no based on the competition they're playing.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't. I'd rather be at home. Almost. I mean, yeah. There's no scenario where I'd rather be on the road. I'd rather be at home.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I would rather be at home. Let's talk about the pitching matchup.
Okay.
Aaron Nola, to me, is a curious choice at best. They are going with him over Ranger Suarez. Are you scratching your head on this one, or do you get it?
I think I get it. Basically, going through and listening to Topper talk, he says Nola is more comfortable starting than coming out of the pen. I don't think they believe that Ranger or Nola can give them enough to bridge it to the guys in the bullpen that they like. So you start Nola. It's the shortest leash you've ever seen. It's basically like one link on a chain leash. And then you got Ranger, ready to go at a moment's notice. But he's hoping to get to that lineup once at the most, I'm assuming. Maybe, it might even be less than that. It might even be get through the first 2 innings, pass it to Ranger, give it to him for 3 or 4, and then kick it to the bullpen. I think that's kind of the thought process there. And he said he didn't want to go through the series without having these guys not pitch. So both are going to pitch. And I think he just said, okay, well, let's start Nola because he's used to that. He's looked good in his previous starts, last couple starts to end the season. So if you kind of listen to what he says, I follow along with it. I don't think you go the other way.
To me, it makes no sense.
You want Ranger no matter what.
Yes.
And okay. No Nola.
Probably not, to be honest with you. Ranger Suarez has a 1.43 ERA in the postseason.
Yes.
Right behind Zach Wheeler, he has been their next dude. And not that far behind Wheeler, although Wheeler has been so exceptional. It stinks that he doesn't get to do this. Now, I understand it from this standpoint. Aaron Nola has pitched in 295 big league games. That includes 10 in the postseason. All of them as a starter. So he has never come out of the bullpen. So I get that. Ranger Suarez, it took him really year 3 until he became kind of a partial starter that year. And then he became a starter after that. He's even come out of the bullpen a couple of times in the playoffs. So he is more well-versed. But you know what I can't afford to do? Get down 2 or 3-0 against Yamamoto. That's what I can't afford to do. So I'll figure out the rest of the shit, particularly with all the off days that we've had. And I'm starting my best pitcher that's available, and that is Ranger Suarez. And in my opinion, it isn't a question at this point.
Can I change my mind and agree with you?
Thank you.
I think I agree, and because I'd only look back at the last couple starts for Ranger where he went 4 against Arizona, gave up 6, 4 1/3 against Minnesota, gave up 3, but the pitch count was there. So like, yeah, I agree. I don't think you can go out and get behind. Now, if you're looking back at Nola's, last couple starts, it's been a lot better. It hasn't been that, overall ERA that we saw during the year where he had an ankle thing and a rib thing. He's looked better, but now I don't think now is the time to test it out. I agree with you. I'd go Ranger and I'd just say, hey man, you got 90 pitches. Let's go. Let's see what we got.
Particularly when you're going against Yamamoto, who has been one of baseball's best all year. Has he solidified himself as a top 5 pitcher in the league?
In the discussion, I hate doing lists like that because there's so many really good pitchers. Okay, off the top of my head, you want to go?
Yeah.
Paul Skeens.
Yep.
It's Tarek Skubal.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going just this year?
Yeah.
Okay, Sanchez for the Phillies.
Well, hold on. Sanchez better than Yamamoto.
He's in the top. I'm just saying. I'm naming top 5 right now.
Okay. All right.
And probably, yeah, this year.
Garrett Crochet,
and then it's like, okay, it's like Yamamoto, Logan Webb. You can keep going right there. So he's in the conversation for top 5. Yes.
He also is the hottest right now. Last 7 starts.
Hunter Brown, there's a lot of guys you could talk about.
Yeah, but this guy, ready for this? Last 7 starts, 5 earned, 46 2/3 innings, 59 strikeouts. And he's also given up no earned runs in his last 3 starts. Good luck, Phillies. Good luck. I don't know how they get.
He's filthy. He's a top 5 guy.
Man, we're going to give our predictions in just a second, but my Phillies World Series prediction is hanging on by a thread at this point. Meantime, the Milwaukee Brewers, they go for the sweep of the Cubs in the Windy City. Chicago, of course, the preseason favorites in the division. Now it's got to win 3 games in a row just to make sure their season doesn't come to an end anytime soon.
Part of being great at this is responding to the bad stuff and running towards it, man. That's part of this. And you can't be afraid of it. You got to look forward to it. It happens sometimes. We put ourselves in a hole this series, no question about it. We get to decide how the story ends.
I love that. We get to decide how the story ends.
I don't think you really do, though. I don't think you get to just decide. There's another team we're playing against. Love that you think that way, but that's not the reality here.
It's going to be Priester against Tyone. So let's start with this. How many outs does Jameson Tyone have to get in order for the Cubs to feel good about his game?
Ooh, I think it's the same that we talked about. 4 or 5 innings worth. 4. So how many outs is that? 12. Good math.
I think it's 15.
So yeah, 4. I crushed it. 4 or 5.
I think he has to do. Listen, Boyd and Shota combined to throw 76 pitches as the starters in those first 2 games. They won a combined 3 1/3.
What did he throw against San Diego? I think he went 4, didn't he?
I think he went 4 1/3, maybe.
4
but he looked good. He threw the ball well.
Yeah.
He threw the ball well. He averages 5 1/3 innings in his 3 starts this year against Milwaukee. He should be able to give them 5 with that crowd behind him, as long as they don't jump him in the first, like we've seen Milwaukee do to his teammates. I don't know. The question for Milwaukee is, how much of a full court press do you play here? Do you go for the series clincher here in Game 3, or do you not risk overusing some of those bullpen pieces?
I think if they're close, they go for it. I think if they get behind early, they might hold off. The one thing that, we haven't talked about yet, I don't know if we're going to get to it, was Chourio. As I was talking about yesterday, I said it looked like he's completely healthy. Apparently he's not. He felt it
No.
at some point
Right.
during game 2. So I think completely going for it means maybe like a pinch hit a la Harrison Bader, but I don't think they're going to do that. And maybe I'm wrong because I said that last time and he played a full game and hit a freaking massive bomb in it. But I think if you're close, you go for it. You don't want to do what Toronto just did in New York and let the Cubs have life. Another game at home and then a game 5 possibly that anything can happen. It's one freaking game. I think if you have a chance to go for the jugular, you go for that jugular.
Yeah, and you know what? They threw 7 pitchers during a bullpen game in winning game 2. Ashby threw 43, Miz threw 57, so those guys are going to be out for game 3. But none of the other 7 pitchers who threw in game 2 tossed more than 16. So you got to feel like they're fresh, they're ready to go. If Priester struggles, they still have enough, and then they do have game 4 the next day, but then they've got an off day if the series goes back to Milwaukee. And there's also some guys they just haven't used much at all back there that could end up giving them a little bit of length. So I think they're obviously in great position in terms of winning the series, but I think just even bullpen, when you're talking about arms being used and overused, that is not a problem at this point. Give me the name of one dude from Chicago that has to come through in order for there to be a 4th game on Thursday.
You took the guy that I wanted to go with because he's the clear-cut one here, but I'll go with another guy, our guy Ian Happ. And Pete Cromshaw, the offense has to get going. They have to get out to an early lead, and then they've done the first 2 games, but then they got to keep going. So, you have to have these big at-bats, man. You have to have an Aaron Judge-like at-bat during the middle of the game. You have to do that when you're in this situation. So those guys really haven't done much in the postseason yet, and they need them. They need this lineup up and down to get it going, and those guys are a huge part of it.
Yeah, that's my fault. I did take Kyle Tucker, who is 3 for 17 with no damage and no ribs, but it goes back way, way beyond. And we know that he's been dealing with massive injuries. It was the calf, and I believe it was the hand that, news came out of that in the second half that he's been dealing with that since July. Since August 1st, here's how bad the numbers are for Tucker. 116 at-bats. He has 7 extra base hits and 12 runs driven in. That is it. That is it for a guy who's hoping to be a $400 million ball player in the offseason. So let's go, KT.
I feel like Kittredge is going to have to get some really big outs in the game too, so maybe I'll go with him.
Okay.
And he needs to make sure he's giving, if someone's on base, giving them a shot to keep those runners close.
Yeah.
So if we're going to go off hitters, I'll take Kittredge.
Yep. All right, playoff season, it's here. Whether you're at a watch party, a tailgate, or hanging out with friends after the game, nothing levels up those moments like the refreshing tropical lime kick of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. Baja Blast. It is absolutely legendary. It is now available everywhere. So grab a can or a bottle. Bring that tropical flavor to your next watch party. So this postseason, hanging out with buddies, rooting for your favorite team, grabbing food late night after the game, or at a fall tailgate, grab something that's really going to help tie it all together. It is Baja Blast. Don't wait. Grab Mountain Dew Baja Blast today. Taste the tropical refresh that takes every occasion to the next level. Find it now at mountaindew.com/dew. All right, before we get out of here, let's get some predictions. How many of these series are ending on Wednesday?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me just look at this real quick. You start first.
Okay, well, let's go in order. I will bring up the schedule for you.
I'm getting it up right now.
Seattle at Detroit. I don't think that one's ending.
I don't think that one ends either. I think it's destined to go back to Seattle, and I think Seattle wins in 5. How about that for a prediction?
That's a great one. That'd be interesting because Tarek Skubal, that would be the second straight year in the divisional round that he will not win Game 5 on the road. Milwaukee at Chicago.
That one ends.
I think it ends as well. And I'll be interested to hear Craig Counsell, who said there were miles apart last year between Milwaukee and Chicago. And so if they get whooped in a 3-game set, I'll be curious to see what he says. Toronto at New York.
It's going back to Toronto, baby. Savage is going to have to. I think Savage is going to come in be a big part of Game 5. Yep.
I want to see ball on Friday. I'm rooting for series to continue on. And Philly,
I got invited to a Shabbat dinner on Friday, Chris. Did you know
Mazel
that?
tov.
Yeah, but I was like, hey man, I might have ball to watch.
Okay.
And you can't like use electronics, right?
Well, it's not an Orthodox home, is it?
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
They're like in it, baby. So I'm like,
my
I
God.
can't.
Well, can't you
I
just
gotta
say,
break the rules.
how about saying this? Can I take a rain check till November?
Yeah, well, yeah.
You
I'll have to
can.
invite you too.
Nope, not this week.
Not this week, no.
Nope. Toronto at New York, you said, and I believe that it's also going north of the border. What about Philly? Does their season come to an end in L.A.?
Yeah. Yes. I think it truly does. Yeah.
Gosh,
that crowd's going to be awesome tomorrow. You mentioned Yamamoto, how good he's been. I think the Dodgers are just scratching the surface on their offense as well. Like they are turning into the team that this entire league feared.
Give us your predictions. Let us know. We got 4 games, which is a blast. I'm rooting for everybody that is trailing in those series. I don't think it's going to happen. I think we get a couple that end, but I just like more baseball, and I hope we get a bunch of it because it is really fun when it is good. But let us know in the comments, who are your 4 winners? What do you see happening? And then we'll go from there. And we will be back on Thursday because this is what we do throughout the month of October. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose. We will see you Thursday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew. Baja Blast.